Hello guys, welcome to Analog IAS current affair analysis for 16th December 2020. In this video, we'll be discussing about the latest initiative of the Government of India PM Money with respect to public Wi-Fi, and the next one is with respect to the India's latest foreign policy choices and how we have to go ahead in this post-pandemic world. This article taken from the Hindu titled From a Digital India to Digital Bharat. So, this article is in the context of the latest bid to fuel broadband internet proliferation across the country by the Government of India. So, they've launched Prime Minister's Wi Fi Access Network Interface Scheme. So, this scheme aims to bring large scale deployment of Wi Fi hotspots throughout the country to increase the connectivity options and improve digital access across the country. So, that is the basic objective of this scheme. So, this scheme envisages setting up of public Wi-Fi hotspots. So, just like how almost decade ago, where we had public calling offices or PCO or coin boxes, wherein anybody can drop a coin and use the public telephone. On a similar line, the government is trying to bring up public Wi-Fi. The reason is pretty simple. Despite having the penetration of high speed networks like 5G, there are still certain impediments in accessing internet in rural areas. So, in order to bridge those gaps, the government is trying to access the local kirana and neighborhood shops and turn them into public data offices. So, these public data offices will be set up on the lines of these PCOs. So there will not be any license. Anybody can set up this public data offices, and it will also act as a source of revenue for a small uh, shop in rural areas. Apart from public Wi-Fi, which is also a low-cost option to reach unserved citizens and grow the economy, it can also revolutionize the tech world. So, in a post pandemic digital drive, having access to internet across the country will become a priority. In fact, as seen in Article 21's interpretation, in various cases like Fahima Shireen case, where the Kerala High Court has said that uh, internet access is a part of individuals' right to life. So internet became an aspect of our life, and therefore these intended benefits should reach out to the entire population. Now, what are the benefits? First one is it adds new users. When you add new users, the business potential increases multifold. Imagine Amazon like company penetrating into villages as well. So this will have twofold effect. One, small villages will have uh, access to global level goods, and secondly, sellers in villages can also sell their produce, and this will improve their marketing ability. So e-commerce, along with a growth in the rural manufacturing setup, needs internet as a base. Secondly, this acts as an enabler for digital India. Now, when we're talking about digital India, we have to focus upon those vulnerable sections who are left out of this digital divide. Say, for example, the rural households or rural kirana shops or the youth in rural areas need seamless internet connectivity for their empowerment. That will be facilitated by Digital India. Now, this coupled with vernacular content will actually transform Digital India into a digital Bharat, or a country where every citizen feels empowered. So, there was a report by Telecom Regulatory Authority of India which said that this public Wi-Fi system will actually increase 1.4% of the GDP. So, this is a very good sign. However, there are also certain risks associated with this idea of PM Money. The first one is security risk. Obviously, when we are going for a low cost model, there is every possibility that a lot of people will be using the same hotspot at the same time, and this will put the public Wi-Fi at a high risk of sending out confidential data over the network. Say, for example, if someone is using banking passwords and pins, someone can hack into that system and grab that password data as well. So that is a security risk associated. Second one is low speed. We are talking about the penetration of digital technology, wherein 5G speeds are going to engulf India in a new technological revolution. But a public Wi-Fi network usually cannot deliver that kind of a speed. It results in a considerable loss of bandwidth, resulting in slow network speed. So it is due to this fact, Google and Facebook's attempt to provide public Wi-Fi got shut down earlier this year also. The next thing is cheap mobile data. As per Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, that is TRAI's data, India now has amongst the cheapest mobile data per GB in the world, with mobile data prices reducing up to 95% in the last 5 years. So, as 4G has become cheap and widely accessible, uh, it is still not accessible to a significant chunk of population. So rather than leapfrogging of technology that people have frequently talked about in the context of India, what we should actually do is ensure that all the citizens have access to this high speed internet. So, what should be the way forward? We have to focus on firstly a strong cybersecurity architecture and come up with the public data protection bill 2019. That should be our immediate priority. And secondly, we have only one or two data providers today in the form of mobile networks. So there is a need to ensure competition, and government must bring out a set of reforms wherein hardware, software, and payment gateways, all this segments have equal competition rather than creating a monopoly. But as such, the idea of ensuring that internet is ubiquitous is empowering to rural India as such. And if you take the Gandhian thought, wherein he said that if we can actually empower the villages of our country, we are transforming the society and we are also moving ahead. So that is the gist of this article. This article taken from the Indian Express is titled Defending the Last Bastion. So basically, this is about the need for more integration of the three services of India's armed forces to ensure that the future special operations that require further complicated domains, like, say, for example, cyberspace or even space to that matter, are dealt properly, and there is capacity building in this particular aspect. So this entire article is not exactly totally important, but uh, we can use this article as an opportunity to understand how the tri-service agencies can integrate towards moving in the direction of this additional domains of warfare, namely cyberspace and space. So, India's elite unit of commandos, drawn from all three armed forces, has started functioning within the Ministry of Defense. So, Ministry of Defense appointed a Major General from the Army as its first commander. And recently, with the elevation of Chief of Defense Staff, who will act as the nodal point towards this tri service arrangement, is considered to be a major development in handling the problems that we might have in the near future, especially with respect to warfare. But this author talks about a recent report that came out, or a recent comment from a author who happened to have insights upon the measures taken with respect to capacity building courses in our country, brings us to the point that the curriculum of our training manuals is not up to the mark according to the view of that author. So despite being a bit biased, the author suggests that the person who made this comment is biased, but still we have to take note of his observations and critically evaluate if we can learn something from that, because the author apparently happened to be a very important person. So India today has some of the major challenges in the form of China. We have another front wherein we are dealing with Pakistan, and India wants to be a net security provider in the Indian Ocean region. Apart from this, given the growth of cyberspace, especially in the times of pandemic, cyber security becomes all the more important. So, is India actually in a position to handle this cyberspace? And with the kind of developments that are happening in space, it is not too far that we have space again as another frontier for confrontation, because we need more and more access to the space because of the growing importance to the internet. So this internet driven model of governments and business models will actually completely change the way we are functioning. So the jointness and integration aspect, the debate between jointness and integration was partially settled by CDS, at least on paper. But are we actually in a position to integrate the army, navy, as well as the air force as envisioned by the CDS? We do have a tri service command, but is it actually in a position to handle the challenges that we are going to witness in the future? We are not yet sure. So this is a sort of a reality check for the Indian armed forces, and we'll use this as an opportunity to build our capacities to further navigate the uncertainties of our future. That is the gist of this article.